Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this extra September meeting of Leeds Council Executive Board. We've hope everybody's had a lovely summer and welcome back. We've got just one item on this executive board, one substantial item. So I'll just rattle through the items at the start of the paper. So item 1, please, Gerard. Are there any appeals?
Thank you, Chair. No appeals received for today's meeting.
Okay. Item 2. Are there any exempt items?
Exempt information, yes, Chair. Should the board be agreeable, appendices 1 and 2 to the report entitled Bid to host the Eurovision Song Contest 2023, designated as being exempt from publication on the provisions of Access to Information Procedure Rule 10.43, will be considered in private at the conclusion of the public part of the meeting.
Thank you. I think we all accept that. Given the nature of the bid, we'll go on to that later. Item 3, are there any late items, please?
There's no specific late items of business, Chair. However, as board members are aware, there's been a requirement to convene this meeting at short notice in response to the short timescales of the bidding process.
Thank you. I'll turn to the board for item 4 to see if there's any declarations of interest. I don't see any, so we'll move on to item 5, please, which is the main item, and I'll invite Councillor Pryor to introduce this, please.
Thank you, Leader. So this is Leeds' bid to host the Eurovision Song Contest in 2023. Perhaps an introduction to a paper I never thought I'd be introducing. I'm sure many of us know the background to this, but just to go over it briefly. Many saw Kalush win the Eurovision Song Contest in May this year, ensuring to 180 million viewers. Obviously, as Ukraine won, it was their opportunity to host the Eurovision Song Contest, but given the Russian invasion has left that an impossibility. So it fell to the UK to host, and Leeds was shortlisted alongside 6 other cities around the country. And Leeds, I think, is in a unique position to put on an amazing show for Eurovision for a number of reasons. We have one of the largest Ukrainian populations in West Yorkshire, around 5,000. And given that this is Ukraine's party that we are just offering to host in our house, I think it gives a fantastic opportunity to celebrate the richness of Ukrainian culture while also giving the world that Yorkshire welcome. It also, as a council, we've been doing a lot of work with our Ukrainian population, not least our work on twinning Leeds with Kharkiv recently. So this fits in with the work we've been doing in showing solidarity with Ukraine. We've also been working with the Mayor's Office, with Bradford 2025, and of course, Leeds 2023. As Executive Board will know, Leeds 2023 came out of initially Leeds applying to be the European Capital of Culture, but when we were no longer able to run for that in a true Yorkshire style, we just declared ourselves the winner and went on with our Year of Culture anyway. And I think actually the 2023 Year of Culture is a fantastic opportunity for Eurovision. I think 2023 can really enhance the song contest, while at the same time having Eurovision in Leeds at the same time as that can really enhance 2023. I mean, we'll get the absolute best out of that. We've got a huge amount of other culture we can celebrate in Yorkshire, a huge amount of musical heritage, from brass bands to the Spice Girls, to in fact the Czech entry to Eurovision last year, We Are Domi, actually met all in Leeds. So there's a huge amount of modern musical heritage there too. I think it goes without saying that the economic impact of any city hosting Eurovision is huge. And while it goes without saying that this will, of course, be a cost to Leeds, something I'm sure we'll be discussing, the economic return will be enormous. And I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity that we can't miss. We've got a huge experience hosting major events, from Sports Personality of the Year to the Mobos, to, of course, other events such as the Triathlon and the Tour de France. So Leeds is ready to host. The first direct arena more than meets requirements for Eurovision. This is going to be the biggest event in the UK in 2023. And everywhere I've been in the city over the past few weeks, there's been a level of excitement in the city about this, potentially hosting this. And I just know we are ready to put on an amazing show. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Councillor Carter, please.
Yes, to endorse, first of all, the points that Councillor Pryor's made. I was delighted to see in the report the references to Ukraine and the fact that, as he put it, it's their party in our house. Only this last couple of weeks, a city that we've, at the last council meeting, signed a declaration of friendship with, has been the subject of bombing from Putin and his gang, and they're unable to stage what would have rightly been their Eurovision Song Contest. So we owe it to them to make sure that they're front and centre. And I think there's a number of key points. Of course, there's a cost, and we'll come on to the cost of the pink papers. And obviously, there are one or two questions about that, except that the level of economic regeneration, particularly for the hospitality sector and the retail sector, at a very difficult time for them, is going to be phenomenal. And we must bear that in mind when we're looking at the costs that might fall to ourselves and indeed the government. The economic impact will be huge and very welcome. The arena, of course, will be front and central. And as the boss said, that's not the next Prime Minister, it's Bruce Springsteen. It's a great room. Just to remind you, the point we might have in our favour above some of the others, when we decided to move ahead with the arena, we decided for all sorts of reasons that it would be built for music. And it is. That's why it's not a conference centre, not as such. It's certainly not a sports arena as such. And actually the furthest distance from an audience member to the stage in Leeds Arena, the furthest distance is 70 metres. In an arena that's also a sports venue, it's 120 metres. So the audience participation and enjoyment of events in our arena, I would suggest to you, is hugely enhanced to a number of the other similar projects around the country. So I'm absolutely in favour of this. As I've said, in particular because of the support for Ukraine and Kharkiv, and any financial implications, whilst there are some, and I want to discuss those a little later, particularly one area of it. If this goes according to plan, as I think it will, then if we get it, it will be a massive, massive economic plus to this city at a crucial time. And also, of course, people will enjoy it.
Thank you. It's always great when people enjoy themselves in Leeds, except travelling supporters at Elland Road. Councillor Galton, please.
Thanks, Chair. I would also like to endorse the comments of Councillor Pryor. I think hopefully we're going to have a very positive consensus behind this application to host Eurovision. It's been a little bit controversial about no, not Eurovision. Don't pull your face. About the likes of Boris Johnson turning up as Prime Minister in Kiev to show support to President Zelensky. But it is important that we show support in whatever front that we can. And besides the practical support we can offer to the Ukrainian people in the war effort, there is also the support that we can offer them in terms of supporting them culturally. And this is why I'm so impressed by the way that it has been presented by Leeds City Council to say, not so much that this is our bid, but this is our bid on behalf of the Ukrainian people. And I think the humility of that is showing in this bid. And I think the people of Leeds will be very happy to participate in that vein. And at the end of the day, I also think it's really heartening to feel that we're actually in a position where at the head of the field, because of some preparatory work that we've already done. Normally, we feel like we're trying to catch up too often when it comes to competitions of this nature, but actually deciding to have the 2023 Year of Culture for the city has meant that we are actually in a position where we can demonstrate that we already have a lot of the preparatory work in place. And I would hope that that would be impressive for those people who are making the decision on which city hosts this competition.
Thank you for those contributions. Is there anything you want to come back on, Councillor Pryor, please?
Just to thank both Councillor Carter and Councillor Galton for your comments. I completely agree with everything that's been said. Councillor Carter, you're right, the arena is the perfect venue. It's built for music. And actually, I think it speaks to the wider point of how much development has happened in Leeds over the last 10, 15, 20 years. I think 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been in a position to host Eurovision, but now I think we're in a position to be the best city in the country to host it. Councillor Galton, you're absolutely right. The work on 2023, I think, has given us the opportunity to mean that in establishing the Culture Trust, we have the infrastructure in place already that Eurovision can just tap into and use, and hopefully should make putting a show on in Leeds actually much simpler than in other areas. So really enthusiastic to recommend this to the board.
Great, thank you. I'm going to bring the public part of this meeting to a close now, and thank those members, because I thank the members of the media, David, for attending this part, and we'll move on to the pink papers in a second. Thank you, everybody.